This is the official beginning of my Crime and Punishment reading vlog. I'm actually obsessed with the fact that this book is a summer book, or at least the beginning of it is set in summer, and it's hot as fuck today and it's hot as fuck in there, so period. Alright, it's day 2 of this reading vlog, and I'm on chapter 2 of Crime and Punishment. You already know that I'm about to read with my feet up on the wall. And I'm probably going to nap the second I get sleepy while reading, wake up, continue reading, and do this all afternoon, which is my favorite summer pastime. So I will come back once I've reached a stopping point. I don't know how to explain it, but I literally feel like myself again. I mean, it's very clear that I've been off YouTube and off like reading most of all. Like, this is the first time in 3 years that I haven't been at like 20 books by the middle of the year. And that's obviously attributed to being busy with school and just having a lot of things going on in my life that were not going on in my life in the last 3 years. But something about just like reading Dostoevsky again this time of year feels so right, and like it's a complete full circle return to myself, and my love for him like never ever fades. Okay, I'm officially ending my reading for the moment at page 42, basically the middle of chapter 4. I pulled off the side of the road and I'm gonna read more. What's crazy is that I was currently sitting here filled with intense loathing at the thought of going to my apartment. So this is a little update on Crime and Punishment. I figured I would probably do an update like at the beginning, middle, and end of reading it. But I'm on part 2, page 151. So I feel like I'm at least a third of the way there. And I'm enjoying this a lot. I feel like with translations, you kind of start and you're into it or you're not. But if you just keep going, eventually it's going to be fine and you're going to be used to the voice, I guess, that you're reading. So that's no longer an issue for me. I was really getting into this because, I mean, the crime happens very early on, so it became a page turner very early on. Everything feels like I can understand where everybody is coming from, and I mean, I think Dostoevsky just is a master at effortlessly and easily revealing like a person's self, like their motivations, their actions, their temperament, through their relations and interactions with everybody else on the page, you know what I mean? So it's just really fun to read, very enjoyable. I like lay down at bed, like I lay down when it's time to go to bed, and I actually am excited to just get back in and read this. And yeah. What else? Like, I feel like I don't want to spoil, even though we've had like hundreds of years to read this, or at least know what happens. But yeah, I guess I won't really say anything or spoil anything. But like always, there are many characters who I just find so funny, and then things that they say that make me want to laugh out loud. And sometimes I do laugh out loud, and I just feel like these books are not serious. Like, they are serious, but nobody should shy away from reading Crime and Punishment or The Idiot or any of these books thinking that they're going to be like super hard and serious and difficult, because I mean, sure, maybe they're challenging at first, but I feel like once you read it and really just like, I think the more you read something, you will eventually understand it, you know? So I just think that these books are worth making that initial effort, because once you're kind of accustomed to it, and if you're into it, they're all so good and so rewarding. So yeah. So I was just thinking to myself as I was reading this, I would much rather read it in the PNV translation. So I looked it up right now on the Internet Archive. So here's the start of the chapter in the P&V translation, which is actually my preferred translation. But as soon as she went out, he got up, hooked the door, untied the bundle of clothing that Razumihin had brought earlier and had tied up again himself and began to dress. Strangely, he seemed suddenly to become perfectly calm. There was none of the earlier half-crazed delirium nor the panicky fear of that whole recent time. This was the first moment of some strange, sudden calm. And now here in the Constance Garnett we have, but as soon as she went out, he got up, latched the door, undid the parcel which had brought in that evening and had tied up and began dressing. Strange to say, he seemed immediately to have become perfectly calm. Not a trace of his recent delirium, nor of the panic fear that had haunted him of late. It was the first moment of a strange, sudden calm. Listen, I prefer to read strangely he seemed suddenly to become more than strange to say he seemed immediately to have become. Wait, let's check out the bottom of the page, which is what I liked initially. He had not an idea about it. He did not even want to think of it. He drove away thought. Thought tortured him. All he knew, all he felt was that everything must be changed, one way or another, he repeated with desperate and immovable self-confidence and determination. I think that I'm gonna like this one more. Bro, like here, it was as stifling as before, yet he greedily inhaled the stinking, dusty, city-infected air. This one uses the word town, and I just feel like city is much more... I just feel that this hits the spot so much better. He did not know and did not think about where he was going. He knew only one thing, that all this must be ended today at once right now. Otherwise, he would not go back home because he did not want to live like that. Ended how? Ended by what? Of that he had no idea, nor did he want to think about it. He kept driving the thought away. The thought tormented him. He simply felt and knew that everything had to change one way or another, no matter how, he repeated with desperate, fixed self-confidence and resolution. I thought things couldn't get much better than the murder, but it turns out the hiding of the murder is just as enthralling, I would say. So I'm starting to eat this book up, and I also just read so much of my other book that I'm afraid I'm going to run out of things to read while I'm in Spain this summer. So it's been a couple of months, obviously, since I started filming this reading vlog and since I've been reading Crime and Punishment, because as we know, I've been having the slowest reading year of all time. But I'm pretty sure there's a clip earlier in this vlog where I'm talking about difference in translation, and honestly, I'm starting to not hate this. Like, I haven't hated it for a while. I think it's fine and good. I did do a comparison, and of course, like, it's normal to have a preference, and I do prefer the P&V. But what I've noticed is just like with reading in general, I feel like you read something, you get into it, you get really used to the author's voice, or like in this case, the voice that's being, you know, shown, the voice that's coming across thanks to the translator. And you become accustomed to it, and you're used to the rhythms of it and how it's going and everything. Because I was saying I hated Constance Garnett. I don't know who that woman is, but I'm sorry, like, I don't hate you. You're not my favorite, but I don't hate you, and your work has merit. The clip that I just showed in this vlog where they're looking at each other and it's like... It clicks for him, like, with what Raskolnikov is saying, like, it's gonna be the last time I see you, like, go and be there for my mother and my sister, like, you need to be there for them. And he finally kind of understands, and he turns pale, like, took my breath away. In fact, from that evening, Razumihin took his place with them as a son and a brother. I'm like, and, like, of course, he wants Raskolnikov's sister, which is hilarious, but no, love it. Like, I'm getting close to the end, and I thought the best thing was the murder and then the cover-up, but now I'm back and I'm hooked because I'm like, somebody's got to find out. Like, there was that dude that literally said, you know, I know what you did. So I never know what to talk about in these clips because I don't want to spoil anything, even though, like, can a book like Crime and Punishment really be spoiled to the public? But I think one of my favorite things is just, like, the way the characters who are not religious look at those who are religious, kind of like religious freaks, and the last thing that occurs to them in terms of, like, a person who should probably want to kill themselves not doing so is them believing in Christ. And right now I'm reading Raskolnikov sharing, like, this moment with Sonia, this girl who suffers on the daily. Like, her mother has, I think, died already, her dad maybe as well, or maybe her mom is just sick, but she's always surrounded by children she has to care for, and he's wondering why she hasn't killed herself yet. But again, here Dostoevsky's touching on, like, one of my favorite themes that come up sometimes in his books, which is, like, having something private and sacred to oneself, whether it's religion or belief in something greater, belief in oneself, belief in a dream, belief in the power of a document, for example. Here it says, Raskolnikov saw in part why Sonia could not bring herself to read to him, and the more he saw this, the more roughly and irritably he insisted on her doing so. He understood only too well how painful it was for her to betray and unveil all that was her own. He understood that these feelings really were her secret treasure, which she had kept perhaps for years, perhaps from childhood, while she lived with an unhappy father and a distracted stepmother crazed by grief in the midst of starving children and unseemly abuse and reproaches. But at the same time, he knew now, and knew for certain, that although it filled her with dread and suffering, yet she had a tormenting desire to read, and to read to him, that he might hear it, and to read now, whatever might come of it. And honestly, the way he's so manipulative of her in this moment, and just trying to get what he wants out of her, convincing her that it's her own idea, and then just, like, so many other situations in this book that have occurred, he reminds me, Raskolnikov, of Frank Gallagher in Shameless. Like, I hate to say it, because I'm pretty sure when I read Demons, I forgot what his name was, but there's, like, the mother, Vera, and then, like, her friend of 20 years who's kind of in love with her. That dude, his son, I compared to Eric Cartman. I mean, I can't help it. I was just watching those shows while reading these books, but I feel like the comparison is valid. Like, this dude literally murdered 2 people, and he just broke off from his family for good, and now he wants this girl to run away with him because they've both transgressed, and without telling her what his sin is, he says, "What for? Because you can't remain like this, that's why. You must look things straight in the face at last, and not weep like a child and cry that God won't allow it. What will happen if you should really be taken to the hospital tomorrow? She is still mad and in consumption. She'll soon die, and the children. Do you mean to tell me Polenka won't come to grief? Haven't you seen children here at the street corners sent out by their mothers to beg?" Like, just emotionally manipulating her, I fucking can't. Well, it's gotta be, like, over a month since I started reading Crime and Punishment, and I'm finally back at home, and being here makes it so easy to sit and want to read because there's nothing to do. And now it makes sense to me how I was reading so many books each year when I was here. So I have my 2 books here, and I'm gonna keep reading. I haven't read Crime and Punishment since I left Spain, to be honest. I kind of want to finish it. I'm honestly indifferent about it. Like, I like it, but compared to some other Dostoevsky that I blew right through, this is kind of, like, fine. It's just fine. So I've made it to part 6, and I mean, I don't even remember what I've said about this book as I've been reading it, and if there are spoilers, but there's, like, a whole part in part 5 where Raskolnikov is, like, trying to, in a way, absolve himself of his guilt and his sins by confessing to Sonia and like putting this all on her. And it's kind of something that I saw in Notes from Underground as well, like a character who, there are people who care for him or see him as a friend, and the more these people show love or care, the more that person hates them, feels angry, doesn't want to be near them. And that reminds me of this quote I saw. Sorry, I'm like sick and my lip is peeling. In Spain, there was a mural on a wall. I don't remember who the quote was from, but the quote was like, "A mí el querer me envenena," which basically means like, to me, like, love poisons me. And that's kind of what it seems like here. Like, somebody so inherently, like, just fucked up emotionally that any sign of care or loving just, like, makes them hate a person all the more, even after they're trying to use them to, like, feel better, you know? So this whole part where he's confessing to her and the fear that she feels and then the acceptance, like, it's just so, it's like giving biblical vibes. And I found it a little bit more unnerving than the murder itself. So now I'm like in the final stretch. It's crazy. Like, I'm here and it's so easy for me to just sit and read like 50 pages because there's nothing else to do.
Don't know how much time has passed since my last reading vlog entry, but things are coming to a head. I'm going to finish this today, and really every time I start reading, I don't know what's taken me so long because I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm excited by what I'm reading. I like it. I just seriously think it's my headspace, moment in my life, environment that are preventing me from really just reading the way I used to.
So I'm pretty sure I started this book in June, and I am just now about to finish. I think I've said that for the past couple of days, but I've just read a good portion of what I had left. And I mean, one time somebody commented and they were like, "Oh, you are just telling us what happened in the story." And I don't want to do that because I don't want to spoil it if somebody's going to read it. However, all I will say is that the passages that I just read that were of Raskolnikov having his last moment with his mother first and then with his sister were just so exactly what I eat up every time, because when he enters the room first to speak with his mother, he's actually not there to speak with his mother, he's there to see his sister, but his mother is there and she's literally so excited that he has come to see her, like she believes that he's come to see her, that she doesn't even want to nag him. Like, he immediately starts to excuse his appearance and like the fact that his clothes are all muddy, and she's like, "No, like, I don't even want to bug you, like, I'm just so happy that you're here." And I've noticed that like in the past I've been, you know, like naggy and that she just wants things to be different this time, and like just her desperation for him to know how much she loves him, and for her to kind of like not try, she doesn't want to scare him away with her love, but then in the moments where he's making it sound like he's going to leave forever, she's like desperate, reaching out to him like, "No, like, but tell me this is not the last time, right? Like, you're gonna come back, right?" And I don't know, it was just like a hard read, because even though that's not the situation I'm in, I feel like I am now the person who's like always leaving home, and when I come back it kind of makes it harder to leave again, because I know how hard it is for my parents and how much they love me, and like I'm an only child as well, and so reading that was just tough, because it's like I just see parts of my relationship with my mom, and it's like that motherly love is universal or whatever. So yeah, but this is becoming so, you know, it's all coming to a head, and I'm really happy with how this has gone. Like, I really am enjoying it, especially in these last moments. And even though it's not my favorite, and I feel like I've gone between like saying that, "Oh, I don't like it as much as these other books," to like, "Wait a minute, I actually love it." I mean, I feel that that's why I like that's what happens when you like an author. Like, even if something you're reading is not your favorite out of their books, it's still worthwhile and good. So my book looks like it's gone through hell and back. I'm gonna do something crazy. Oh, mutilating books on the channel. But it had to come out. Like, are you kidding me? The cover was falling off. So this is now my copy. I'm gonna leave it here on my bookshelf. I'm not taking this back. I don't think I would survive it. But this doesn't pain me at all. It's just like the book was already old and I enjoyed it, read it, lived life with it. And I don't like Constance Garnett that much. Bro, I hate him so much though. Like, he is a fucking asshole. And like, imagine killing somebody and then being like, damn, you know what I could really use right now? The cross necklaces that I threw on her dead body after I killed her. Like, that would actually be the perfect accessory to my look right now. Like, there's also a part in this. Well, no, here. He says, I threw them back on the old woman's neck. Those would be appropriate now, really. Those are what I ought to put on now. But I'm talking nonsense and forgetting what matters. Like, that just has me dead. But also there's a part here where he's going in to talk to Sonia. And have I even explained? I don't know. I feel like I just talk and I'm assuming people have read this or know who I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter. But he's talking to her and she guesses in this moment that he's talking to her that his tone and his words are a mask. And I'm like, without getting into too much detail, I've had this exact thought in the past about somebody, but specifically the idea of it being a mask. And then it really like had me thinking about Bret Easton Ellis and like the way his characters are so like smooth, polished that they just project a mask, and then like deep inside of them it's like they're rotted and shit. I'm sorry, it's because like one person was coming to mind, but yeah, so then I just feel like that's brought up here and it made me think of it. This moment where he's trying to remember what things look like and imagine what they're gonna look like to him when he's in a different stage in life. By different stage, like going to prison. I'm like, relatable. So relatable. That was me with my hometown before leaving, and then me in the city before coming back to the States. Or even when I arrived in Logroño, which I think is recorded in this vlog, I just remember coming into the city and thinking like, I wonder what this will look like to me when I've left after a month and I like have a thesis that's written. And I actually worked on that thesis on the bus, the airport, and then when I got home. But still. Yo, okay, I think I'm just gonna say that there are spoilers in here because the confession, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting it. I thought he was gonna pussy out and like run away or something. I love that. What's killing me is that even though dude confessed, it's like, you just did this because you want to be different, and now you've confessed so completely that people think that you were temporarily insane and that you must be special because you didn't steal anything, and like, this is unlike any other kind of murder case. And it's like, this is what he wanted. Like, he wanted to be different. He wanted to be like Napoleon. He wanted to put himself on this higher standard of person. Like, he said he didn't even feel any remorse about the murders at one point because he was like doing society a favor. And I just feel like, yeah, he was not normal. He was fucking deranged, but like, don't give him the satisfaction. Just throw his ass in jail. Like, time and time again, I just feel like there's a certain type of character who mirrors parts of Eric Cartman from South Park's character and way of being. And like, I know that's crazy, but just like the fucking worst, most annoying pick-me asshole dude who can then flip around the whole story and the whole narrative and have people pitying him and caring for him and like just getting away with it when it's so obvious that he fucking sucks. As if like by believing certain things about himself they're now true, but then it's like people buy the fiction, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just in shock at how much love still surrounds this person when he is an asshole who really has never shown that he truly cares about any of the people in his family or Sonia, like this girl who's devoted to him. He feels emotions towards them, and he's a sensitive guy, and a lot of what we're reading is the way he's processing, dealing with emotions, how they're changing and then influencing his actions. But like, when has he ever actually said a fucking nice thing about any of them? Like, he never has. And then they're there, like, visiting him, and then his friends like, yeah, I'll take care of your sister and your mom. And it's like, what did he do to deserve such kindness? Like, here it says, why he had been ready 1,000 times before to give up existence for the sake of an idea, for a hope, even for a fancy. Mere existence had always been too little for him. He had always wanted more. Perhaps it was just because of the strength of his desires that he had thought himself a man to whom more was permissible than to others. In my opinion, it's giving Pisces or Virgo. So I kind of wanted to wait a little bit before recording my final thoughts on Crime and Punishment and finishing this vlog, but I realized that if I don't say something now, I'm going to forget everything that I read. So overall, enjoyed. I feel that the strengths of this book and what I love about all of Dostoevsky's works are just like seeing people interact, seeing their motivation, the beliefs that they bring into certain relationships and conversations and stuff, and then how they navigate all this shit, and just pretty much like how real it all is. Like, I don't know, I feel like I have nothing interesting to say about it. And I wanted to delete this entire video, but I won't, because I filmed it for many months. So yeah, I'm done with Crime and Punishment. It didn't really blow me away, but I really did enjoy it. But I think it didn't blow me away because I've just read some of his other work that has. So it's still a positive. Yeah,